Hello, everyone. It's Pat, and I am coming back on the YouTube airwaves today to do a little reading for the month of June. It's been quite some time, probably a good 6 months since I have been on the airwaves. And I'll fill you in a little bit more about why that's been in a few minutes. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Pat Rainville. My channel here is Angel Divination. And I also have a business called Relaxlifecoaching. I do life coaching, readings, and Reiki. And I'll elaborate a little bit more on that too as we go on today. So first, I have been off of the airwaves of YouTube, mainly for medical health reasons. I've been dealing with some long-standing issues of pain in my hips, which is due to some end stage and what they call bone-on-bone hip arthritis, where you've got no cartilage left. And it's really painful. And or at least it is for me. I think there are some people, for whatever reason, that don't get as much pain from it. But anyways, I do. And it's very taxing. I'm sure some of you out there can relate to if you deal with pain on a daily basis and your life becomes about pain management, it can be very, very taxing. And that combined with working a full-time job that, as we all know, we all have full-time jobs that can be stressful at times, leaves you pretty mentally exhausted without much left in the tank at the end of the day or at the end of the week. And when the weekend comes, you spend a majority of your time just recovering, refilling your cup, to maintain your well-being. So, there hasn't been a lot left over in the tank, shall we say, to come on and do a YouTube reading and talk to all of you. But I do miss it, and now that I'm now home recovering, because I did recently have a hip surgery to replace one of my hips. Both of them need to be done, but at least one of them's been done. So I'm home on medical leave and able to relax, recover, rest as much as I need to, which I've had to do a lot of that. If any of you out there have ever had any kind of joint replacement surgery or any major surgery, even as you progress and start to feel better and get more mobile, you still have days and times when you are just absolutely exhausted. So anyways, that's what's been going on with me, for the past 6 months or so. Well, actually, the pain issue's been going on for a lot longer than that, but and I think I may have mentioned it before in some of the other videos that I had done last year. But now in that time, I've also done some courses. I recently became I upgraded my Reiki. I've always been a Reiki master, but I recently took a class called Holy Fire 3 World Peace Reiki Master Training. And basically what it is an upgraded form of Reiki. It's something that comes in at a higher frequency. And it was really wonderful to take. I was able to take it online, which was a new and different experience for me. But I'm looking forward to introducing some of you to it as well, and inviting you to an experience of it, because it's deeply relaxing, and it has been very healing and beneficial for me in many ways. So at some point in the not too distant future, I'll be introducing you to that. I also took a Collette Baron Reed course to be for additional training in being a certified intuitive coach. So that was also just a deeper dive into working with, you've seen me work with her oracle cards before, the Wisdom of the Oracle. And so I've taken that class. I've got to finish the remaining parts of it to become fully certified. But so it's always good to be learning and expanding your current level of knowledge and upgrading what it is that you do. So that's a little bit about, what's been going on with me. So for now, let's dive into June and see what's going on. Now, I did, as I usually do, I like to call on the angelic realm, the archangel deck that I have here. I have this one by Doreen Virtue, but Kyle Gray, he's also got, he's an excellent angel reader and angel intuitive. He's published through Hay House. He's a young man. I believe he's from Scotland because I believe he has that Scottish accent, but he does quite a bit and has several decks that are really good. But I'm using my deck that I've had for years for that. And a daily guidance one. And I'm going to, of course, call on Colette's deck for today. So let's just take a deep breath here and look into what we're coming into with June. Now, at the end of May, we did have a second full moon, so we had a blue moon. That's an unusual event. And I believe at the end of June, we're coming into a Mercury retrograde. These are always, astrological things I like to highlight to give you a heads up because they're important to pay attention to because they certainly affect the energies of things that are going on. So, but that isn't starting until the end of June, Mercury retrograde, and it's usually retrograde for about 3 weeks. So anyways, looking into June, we're halfway through the year. Hard to believe that's what's going on right now. So, wow. Let's see. June at halfway through the year. I'm just going to take a moment just to see, I'm just going to ask for general impressions for the month of June. What do we need to know? What would be important for us to know right now? What's ahead for our month of June for all of us? And what messages, the angels would want to bring to us with regard to this month? What do we need to know? June, the month of June. Well, I'm sure for a lot of us out there's a lot of us who have graduations going on, maybe even some weddings. So on a personal level, there'll be those kinds of fun things going on. But in terms of the energies of what's going on in the world and not just in the United States, but other places too. What I'm getting is June is going to bring an opening up. And what that feels like to me is the truth of more things coming to light. Things are really opening up in terms of opening up and being revealed to us, kind of like the petals of a flower, open up and reveal the beauty of the flower to us. But in this instance, I think things are opening up in terms of things that either have been behind closed doors or withheld from us, things of that nature. Okay. Or we might find that in our personal lives, we might have people that we're associated with or connected to who are opening up to us a little bit more. They're, maybe speaking a truth to us. Just opening us up to us personally a little bit more. All right, angels, what do we need to know? That wants to come out. Okay. What other archangels have some information and guidance for us this month? Well, nothing's jumping out, so I'm just gonna, whoop. Something did fall out though. Okay. Anything else, angels, for the month of June? I'm going to pull one more to see what other. Oh, okay. All right. All right. So the first card that came out for us for this month is this card from Raziel, Spiritual Understanding. It says, bringing you esoteric information, symbols, and helping you understand spiritual truths. The key words I take away from this is bringing you information. It speaks to the theme I picked up on earlier, where things are opening up. And so information, more information that's been kind of in the background is coming into being brought out into the public. It's coming into our awareness and helping us understand. This speaks to spiritual truths, but I think in a general way, it's just speaking to the helping us understand the truths of what's been going on. Okay. Archangel, Raziel is this kind of wizard-like looking angel, and he's holding up a Merkaba with a dove of peace at the top of it. So, with understanding, peace does eventually come from that. Maybe not in that moment, that it comes to light, when we find out about things that have been unjust that have been going on. Our initial reaction obviously is, to be mad or angry about that. But ultimately, it gives us the information that we need going forward to be able to correct it. And that I do feel will happen. And that's what ultimately where the peace lies, is that we have the information that we need to correct it. So, but he's, the spiritual understanding does come from, I mentioned earlier that, some people, maybe relationships in your life, may be opening up to you, and that's a form of spiritual truth. Maybe some people are revealing the truth about themselves, or a truth they want you to know so that they can move forward with their life in a certain way. Okay, so anyways, there's a lot of just understanding that is coming forward to us this month. Okay, the next card that came out was Shamuel, with this message of career transition. So it says your life purpose is triggering a blessed career change. So, this certainly speaks to, the collegiate graduates that are coming out, as well as to many of us personally, that June brings about some career opportunities for us. If you've been looking to transition out of a job or employer that you're currently with, there's definitely opportunities coming up for you in the month of June that are going to help you or allow you to move forward in that way. It also just may mean that you're taking steps personally to up-level your career, to do a pivot. Maybe you're looking to just transition completely out of where you're at or the career that you're in and move into something else. But Shamuel is an angel who oversees our relationships. He helps us find things. So if there is a particular job or career that you need help, finding opportunities in, or finding a way to get transition to that, Archangel Shamuel is, the angel to call upon for that. But let's see. I think in an odd way, I always take the Shamuel card to be a positive one for us personally, with regard to making a career change for us personally. But as I was looking at it, I think it can certainly also indicate a transition for people in certain aspects of our government, and where they're transitioning out of government, either because of illegal activities they've been involved in, or we may see some shifting around there, where some people are stepping up to new positions and other people are transitioning out. Okay, so I think it speaks to a little bit of shifting around that, because some people's careers, I think, may come to an end in our governmental areas. So we're seeing some of that take place right now with our former Attorney General, Pam Bondi. She certainly got transitioned out of her job and is facing some legal consequences as we speak, where she may be disbarred or etc. So anyways, so the last card that I pulled out here is this one, was the Archangel Metatron with chakra clearing. And basically what this just means is that we want to keep our energy clear, and we want to certainly take steps to the chakras are the energy centers on our body. There's one at the crown, there's one at the spiritual eye, there's one at the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, and there's a couple other, one at the sacral area, one at the root. He's saying, call upon me to clear and open your chakras using sacred geometric shapes. But in general, it speaks to clearing of our energies, our personal energies. And, I could certainly even say, in a general way, this speaks to just basically taking care of your own energetic, well-being. There's different ways that people can clear chakras using crystals and seeing holistic healers. But if that's not your thing, clearing your personal energy may be as simple as getting outdoors more. Especially if you live in a northern hemisphere where we're entering the beginning of our summertime, and the weather outside is just beautiful. So that may be how you get out and clear out your energy. So, but it is, it's important to do so, especially after you come away from a long, hectic, busy work week where you're dealing with a lot of coworkers and clients, and that energy is with you. It's good to get it cleared out after the end of your week. So it can really improve how you feel energetically. So there's that. All right. So those are the archangel energies overseeing us for this month. Okay. Now I'm going to take a look at archangels are overseers. So that was kind of general overseeing energy. Now I'm going to pull from this deck, which I haven't used in a while. Again, it's another old Doreen Virtue one. And I don't follow Doreen as a teacher or a coach anymore, but she did make some good card decks. And this one was called Daily Guidance from Your Angels. I like working with angels because I like their energies. They're higher energies. And one of the things I liked about Kyle Gray, who I mentioned at the beginning of this video, is his approach is simple. Just when you open up a card deck, he's like, angels, just show me what you need me to know today. And that's what we ask when we call on these. What do you need us to know? Their cards are both sort of prophetic and at the same time prescriptive. Okay? Prescriptive and predictive. All right. Angels. What do we need to know? What would be helpful for us to know for the month of June? Okay. Ooh. Sorry about that. One spilled out. Okay. Heart chakra. Okay, now we had a message of, chakra clearing with Archangel Metatron just a moment ago. And this says, love is the heart of the matter. And your heart is the center within your physical being attuned most to love. So it's safe for you to love and be loved with an open heart as we stand by with perfect protection and guidance. So what they're advising us in a prescriptive way is to, as much as we can, stay heart-centered. And, one of the ways that we can help to keep our energy clear is from kind of staying away from a lot of the stuff that's out in the media there right now. I mean, don't get me wrong. I scroll through it a lot too. I'm not doom scrolling, but and I tend to be attracted to stuff that seems to have new information, but a lot of times it really doesn't. It's just clickbait with the way they've titled it. So if you listen to a lot of that stuff, it is very, fear-based, sensationalized, like, oh, someone destroyed so-and-so, and, if somebody, nailed this or whatever. But what this card is advising us is, the best way through this time, okay, because the only way to get to the other side, to when we will be in a more peaceful place, both as a nation and in our world, okay, is to stay heart-centered and be in a space as much as we can of loving kindness to our friends and neighbors, and those who might be suffering, having that empathy, and also directed, to yourself, to self-love, to appreciating who you are, and being heart-centered with kindness to yourself as well, okay? And, it also speaks to a little bit to that career change card we got from Archangel Samuel, which has, it's likely urging you in that direction to do something that's heart-centered for yourself. It may be that you're longing for a career change because your heart just isn't in what you're currently doing anymore. And you do want to be, or you're attracted to something or wanting something that your heart is in, okay? So it's urging you to pay attention to things that feel heart-centered for you, that you can really get behind, okay? Let's see. Anything else, angels? Going forward into the month of June, we should know or pay attention to. I tend to wait for cards to jump out at me, but okay. This card is saying, think about what you desire. You now have the opportunity to write the script according to your heart's true desires. Again, going back to being heart-centered. Once you clearly decide upon your true desires and know that you're ready and deserving of them, they'll rush into your life as if by magic. So it's, letting us know that there's some good manifestation energies going on this month. And it's, angels will kind of urge you in the direction of and it's a very powerful shift of thought. If you find yourself caught up in the frustration of what's going on, or either in the world or a life situation that you got going on, if you can take a moment and shift out of it for a moment and be like, what would I really desire for myself? What would I really like to see happen? What would your ideal scene be if everything could work out as ideally as possible? And sometimes, as it doesn't mean it's going to drop in your lap, but it's urging you again back towards being heart-centered and thinking about, where is my heart at? Where's my heart drawing me to? Is it drawing you to another location? Or as the card from Archangel Samuel indicated, it might be drawing you to a different career or some new avenue, okay? And just, hey, have a little writing exercise and go commando with what you like and desire to have. Okay. Cards fell out, and some did spill out, and they fell out on the floor. So the last two that came out was wedding and family. So no doubt that in this month of June, there are some weddings going on, family events going on. Of course, Father's Day comes up in the month of June, but definitely some family-related events with regard to weddings, and children in there. Definitely events around celebrating family going on. So, that's part of what's going on there with our daily guidance. And so those are always, fun to enjoy. Now, if you don't have a family of your own, or maybe if you're estranged from your family, it might be a family of choice, a family of people that, you happen to be connected to. Maybe a community of some kind that feels like a family to you. Okay? Sometimes this can indicate that you may be meeting a new partner that may be a marital partner for you in the month of June. You could meet them at a wedding. A lot of people do meet partners at weddings. All right, let's see what Colette Barron reads. Wisdom of the Oracle shows us for the month of June. Spirit, what do we need to know? Is there anything else that you'd like us to know for June? Let's see. That's always a good card to get, something I've been doing frequently. It's the time for a nap card. I love this picture. It's the moon with a little coyote sleeping on it. Or fox, I think it is. Yeah, fox that's sleeping in the arms of the moon. But it definitely speaks to this card in particular is, just taking some time off. Give yourself permission to take a nap someday this month, or maybe several days this month. When you have a nice day, some Sunday afternoon, when it's nice and sunny out, you've set up that hammock, give yourself permission to take a nap. Taking a nap can also just mean, taking like a little bit of a break from your usual routine, or something you've been thinking about, a lot over and over in your head. You keep rehearsing it in your head or going over it. Just take a nap from it. Put your worries aside. Stop trying to figure it out, and just, put a pause on it for a while. Okay. Putting some things, I also feel like for a lot of you, it's just that in the month of June, you're going to be giving rest a higher priority for you. All right? Because maybe you've become aware, all right, as part of that, Raziel card of information that's coming to you, of how much sleep deprivation or sleep interruption is affecting how you're performing during the day, or affecting your activities during the day, I should say. So for some of you out there watching this, I feel like you're giving rest a higher priority in your life, okay? To take care of yourself and your own well-being better, okay? Okay. What else do we need to know, Spirit? Or maybe for some of you, especially after those family events, maybe you're just going to need to rest. Little kids, if you go to a family event, they are wonderful, and but they've got a whole lot of energy, and by the time you're done at the end of a day taking care of them, you're wiped out too. Trying to keep up with them. All right. Again, nothing's bouncing out, so what do we need to know, Spirit? I'm pulling 3 from each, but okay. This is probably an additional confirmation of the message I was saying at the beginning of the reading with the archangels. The truth is coming out about a lot of things. And what I like about this little owl here is he's got it's like the doors are being open and there's all these hearts that come pouring out. But underneath it, he's standing on top of a mask. Okay. So something is being unmasked. Something, the facade that has been over, and like the doors are blowing open. Okay. And there's a lot of information that's going to be found out. And the fact that there's hearts that come pouring out of this like little birds also just, again, refers me back to the cards that I had picked a few minutes ago, which was about being heart-centered. I think, the truths that come out as we hear about them, it's going to be hard to hear them. Some of them might be pretty ugly, honestly. But for a lot of us, it does help ultimately to bring us to a more heart-centered space where we're caring more about our neighbor and people who have just been mistreated for so long, and just, it just brings out a lot more empathy and the need for change. Okay, so which ultimately leads to more peace. So it's also an encouragement to some of you out there to not be afraid to tell the truth to people in your life, not to be afraid to tell the truth about something. Okay. You need to just be, and it can be done in a gentle way. Some of you may be fearing the effect it has on people, and that's certainly understandable. We all have that time where we're afraid of what are people going to think. Are they going to be upset? What's the outcome of this? But sometimes you just have to pick the best way to explain it as best you can, and ask your angels, ask them for a benevolent outcome to the whole thing and to guide your words. All right. Any other message for us? I'm just going to pull one final card here. All right. Ooh. Okay. Another card came flying out, but of course it fell down to the bottom. Treasure Island. Okay. This is money coming in, which is always nice. Yeah, actually, it's not. That card often shows up when it's payday. But I just want to look at it quickly here. Yeah. The results of positive thinking made manifest, abundance appearing as if from nowhere, financial gains, and the sharing of good fortune. So, when I look at these three cards together, time for a nap, truth be told, and Treasure Island, it feels to me like maybe for some of you out there, there's been something that you've been, had going over and over in your mind, in your head, it's troubling you. And so you finally decide to put it to rest by speaking the truth about it. And ultimately, it has a positive outcome. Okay? It really brings blessings. Okay? And I mean, Treasure Island is again, it's got the little hearts surrounding the pot of gold that's on top of the turtle's back. So I love the theme of the hearts it's in there, because you came from a heart-centered place, in being truthful about something in particular, whatever it is that pertains to you. But for some reason, I feel like it also is speaking to the fact that as the truth comes out, it frees up some money that goes out to people. And it just brings an influx of financial support. Okay, so now if you've personally been concerned about finances or anything like that, okay, and we know sometimes that we have to walk away from things that are troubling us. That's the time for a nap. The truth is coming out about something, and there's financial benefits coming to you that maybe you were not aware of, okay? And the truth being told to you about something is bringing your awareness to it. So anyways, those are some of the messages that I get for the month of June. I hope they resonate with some of you. So now, if any of you out there that are listening to this could use some help going through a particular, I'm happy to do a little 2-card consultation, completely free. Pull a couple cards for you on your particular situation if you want some support in a particular area. Just send an email to me at relaxlifecoaching@gmail.com. Also, be on the lookout because I will be sending out, or I'll be announcing at some point, an introduction to and experience of Holy Fire Reiki. This will also be free. It's just something that introduces you to what it is and gives you an experience of it. So anyways, thank you so much for joining me today. Take care, everyone. And I hope to be back on the airwaves again soon. Take care.